Hello, strong people. Not a week, no specific day. I mean, if you want to be specific, it's like the 11th, 10th, 10th? Maybe the 10th. It's Tuesday. It's the Tuesday after OSG, whatever it is. That's not really important. I just was confused there for a second. I've been off work for a few days now, so I'm like, I don't need to know what day it is. But this is the recap of official Strongman Games 2024. So it is come and gone, and I did it. Now, first things first, I'll say I honestly underperformed on every single event, just slightly. Like one rep, a few seconds, minor mistakes. And I don't want to give myself excuses, but this is kind of a whole new thing. OSG is a whole new show. It's very efficient. Bang, bang, bang. Let's go. I felt like I got a taste of that when I did the OSG Mid-Atlantic Regional. It was run by the same people, same everything. Lynn ran that one, had the same everything. So obviously much, much smaller scale than what OSG, the main show is. So I had an idea of that going into it. I like that. I have no complaints with that. But it can be tough to time warm-up sometimes. There's a ton of athletes all fighting for like 2 or 3 warm-up spots. We'll just go event by event. So, but I really do feel like I underperformed. I hit like baseline numbers on every event, which isn't what I want to do at a show. At the show, you want to be a little bit better than in prep. At least me. I'm almost consistently a little bit better, unless I make a big mistake at the show. I'm always at least a little bit better game day. I've peaked properly. Everything's the way it should be, if everything went well, of course. But event by event. So, well, the weekend started out a little bit different than I thought. Like Thursday, we had to go get our yoke heights and stuff. I expected the check-in process to be like bang, bang, bang. No, not at all. So, obviously, you guys sign in, tell them you're here, get your name tag. Then you got to go get your shirts. Then you got to get in line for pictures. And then after that, you got to go get your yoke height. Well, that line for yoke, they had one yoke. Now keep in mind, there are 400 athletes or something. One yoke for every single athlete to try on. We couldn't pick it, It was like preloaded to something. There was weights in it already. I don't know what it is without the weights in it, but I saw there were weights in it. So I'm not gonna pick it. There's just, that thing, it could have been 800 pounds already, and I wouldn't have known that, and I'm not really gonna do that, dry. 2 days before a show, the day before a show. That's probably my biggest complaint, and maybe my only one, honestly. So yeah, we'll revisit the yoke here in a second. But so that took a lot longer than I thought. I asked my Airbnb hosts if we could check in early on Thursday, because the way things were looking, we were going to be there early. So a couple days ahead of time, they reached out and said, yeah, you can check in a couple hours early. We ended up not checking in till 4, like after our originally scheduled time. So I felt bad for that. I don't think they even knew. Not that it would matter much, but I expected to check in to be like bang, 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 done. It wasn't quite like that. So that's okay. If anything's going to go wrong or just not super fast, check in, probably a good thing. The actual show ran fine. So moving on to day 1. It's also weird doing only 2 events a day. So I'm going to upload a video with just the events all together. And I'm probably going to, I'll paste the clips of them on my face here somewhere while I'm talking about them too. So, but event 1, log press, an event I've notoriously been pretty good at. Yeah. Except regionals. I really botched it there. But 350 lug or 380 lug. I went 380. The goal was like 3 or 4, honestly, and I'm absolutely capable of that. I think it's more of a mental thing, and I'll talk about that here in a second. But I managed 2 reps, 2 pretty shaky reps. Those logs are a little bit different. It is, I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I have a Bartos log, MB Power Center. The logs we used there were also MB Power Center. And the dry weight of those logs was like 275 pounds. So the log itself, no weight, is heavy. And it had giant globes on the end. If you've seen like the logs at the Shaw Classic or the Strongest Man on Earth, it's same logs, same exact ones. So when you get those globes rotating on the end, well, the whole thing it's one solid piece. So when you get it rotating on the clean, it wants to keep going. So generally I try to have a pretty explosive clean, try to be pretty strong through there. I think it was throwing me off a little bit on each rep. You know, I had to stabilize a little bit after, and then even on the press, I was a little wobbly because a lot of the weight's on the ends, so it's side to side. That zaps a lot of energy. It just does. I do think I still had, you know, the strength for 3 that day, even with the slight, you know, off balance. But I have this problem, and I brought it up with my coach. Now, I remember I've talked about this before whenever let's see. It was when I was training for Viking press. So Viking press, when I trained that the very first time, my press got great after that. Like, my log press felt phenomenal. And I think it was because I was learning to press completely through in one motion. I have this habit that I keep going back to where I'll, you know, do my dip and drive for the push press, and then I just won't use my triceps. They're just not there. And I don't really, like, I don't have that grinding ability sometimes. And I don't know why. I don't know what makes me stop doing that, because it was fine for a while and then I stopped doing it. But I've done it multiple times now. Like, I've got it here where my triceps should lock in and they just don't go. It's like I'm not connecting the two. And I feel like when I did Viking press, that really fixed it. Something that I think may be messing with it, strict press. And what I mean when I say that is I'm building strength with it for sure. But the issue is whenever I strict press like that, it burns my triceps out quite a bit. So the way we have it programmed is strict press is first and then push press is after. So I'm doing push press fatigued, but the issue is in strict press, my legs are not fatigued. So my legs are nice and strong for the push press, but my triceps are not because I've already exhausted them somewhat during the strict press. So I think I'm able to dip and drive the weight, but I'm not able to finish the weight just because of that imbalance. One's fatigued, one's not. So I used to train it differently. When I trained it by myself, like before I had a coach, I didn't really know anything, but this made more sense to me. I would do push press first, so everything felt the same, and then whatever I had left in the tank, I would try to, that'd be strict press time. So my coach has already mentioned maybe taking out the strict press, earlier in prep. We'll see. We'll see what we have scheduled. We also, we don't have a show until probably May. So we have an off season to work, drop a little bit of weight, get in a little better shape. We'll see. Middle of the pack on that event, I think. I don't really know for sure, but underperformed is what I'll say. So, event 2 was the car yoke walk, whatever you want to call it. It's a yoke, but it's a car, which is pretty cool. I've seen that done so many times, and I finally got to do it. And I haven't really reflected on that until right now I'm talking to you guys. So I was able to do the same car yoke that they do at Giants Live, they've done at Worlds, they do at OSG. That's crazy. I made a pretty hefty mistake on this event though. Now there's 2 ways to look at this. One, I set my yoke pick height too low, and it felt like I was picking up a house every single time. I mean, you'll see on the clip here, they blow the whistle and I'm still standing there. Like I tried to pick it, it didn't go. And I'm like, I'm moving this thing. So I had to wake up a little bit. Really, like, I mean, it's the heaviest thing I've ever picked up. It felt like it was absolutely crushing my spine every time I picked it. Well, which is only 2 or 3. But I picked it and I was gone. I was good. I made it 40 feet down, slight wobble. I think one of my back tires might have clipped. And those tires are locked. Whenever they hit, they drop you. You know, you stick. So I went to pick again, and again, it felt like I was picking up a house. Awful. I feel every time I'm doing this, I am just annihilating my back. And I think I picked it 1 or 2 more times. I know 1 more time for sure. I got a few steps in, dropped it, went to pick again, and I picked it, and I got some wobbles, and it like fell behind me. I knew every time I was doing that, I was taking a little bit of life out of me for tomorrow. But that's how I go, so that's what I did. So I fell like 6-7 feet short after looking at distance. I think I made it the furthest without finishing, which is not something to brag about. If I didn't waste so much energy on that pick, I finished that. And it felt good. Once I was up and going, I was confident. I was very confident. So 2 ways to look at this. 1, set the pick height 1 up. So the pick is not as, just ungodly heavy, ungodly difficult. Well, this is kind of a 2-part thing. Well, we'll talk through it. So set the pick height 1 higher. The issue with that is the wheels are going to be closer to the ground. So I run the risk of dropping it if I'm unstable. I wasn't unstable during the run. I didn't wobble left to right until the very end. Slight misstep and I dropped it. If it was a regular yoke, I don't think I would have dropped it, but because it had tires and caught, I think that's probably why. But where was I going with that? Oh, but something else I did that if I were to set my pick height higher, I'd have to adjust. So this is if I remain the same pick height. Obviously, I'd have to get stronger picking the weight. I just have to. I'd have to train really heavy picks or something at a low height. But I'd also have to level the car out. So in the video, the front end of the car is pointing up, back wheels are down, they're hovering off the ground. So that's why it caught. But I was pushing the yoke like I do a normal yoke. Now, if I were to, keep the same pick height, get better at picking a weight that heavy, I'd have to kind of pull in. Instead of pushing the yoke forward and setting the car up, this is if I do raise the pick height 1. I'd have to adjust my arms, so I'm not pushing the yoke forward, I'm not pushing the front up and the back. So that way I'm more level to where, I'm higher off the ground, essentially, in a way. So there's that way. Go up 1 on the pick height, keep the yoke more level. That's probably my best bet, because those are easy adjustments. If I do that this weekend, I'm confident I finish that faster than faster than 30 seconds, I hope. I know I can run that yoke that faster than that. That bothers me. I know I can finish that. I know I can run that fast. I just need to get better at heavier yokes. So there's definitely some things I would adjust on that if they were to bring that one back for the preliminary events. So I don't even know where I was after day 2. I really have no idea because it didn't really matter. Like at this point, I knew I wasn't going to be in the finals most likely unless I really did something crazy. And on these next 2 events, that just wasn't going to happen. So game day decision that I don't even know if I talked about this before, but event 3, deadlift. I had been wearing those Cerberus shorts underneath my deadlift suit for a while. I think I did talk about this. And the more I think about it, the more I thought about it, I realized that I never liked deadlifting in those raw. And I didn't, and wearing the suit felt great wearing them, but I couldn't lock out anything. It's like my hips were locked in place and not in a good place, if that makes sense. So game day decision, I didn't even bring them to the venue. I just went regular old, I have like my Under Armour compression shorts that I like to wear normally when I compete. I had my leggings and then suit over that. So no big thick neoprene Cerberus shorts underneath. And it was the best deadlift it felt since I failed that 881 for the all-in qualifier. It really just bothers me that I didn't think about it sooner during prep. Because it was an 820 deadlift. Did I say the car walk was 1,000 pounds? It was 1,000 pounds if you're unfamiliar with OSG. Sounds pretty cool to say too. But moving on, deadlift was like 705 and 820, which is a crazy gap. That doesn't really make much sense to me, I guess, but I like it. So I went for 820, really unsure of it, because the heaviest I hit in prep was like 768 or something like that. And I failed at 820, well, 828 technically, but I was like, nope, something's got to happen here. I ain't pulling that light one. So, of course, whistle blew. I take my time because I'm not going to pull either of these weights for 60 seconds. So, walk up to the 820, strap in, get my little brace, take a breath. And that first rep, it flew. I was happy with it. It doesn't look super fast, but it felt fast to me. See the down call, I'm like, I got another. Do a nice little slow eccentric. I think that's the right word. I don't know. I dropped down, second rep. Same thing, felt pretty good. Hitched it more. Got the down. So I'm at 2 reps at 820 right now. I was like, I can get a third. Went down, got the up call for 3. Got it to my knees, had a crazy not a speed wobble, whatever you want to call it. I wobbled like crazy. And I dropped it. I had that flicker in my head after rep 2 where it's like, and this could have been the reason why I would have failed the rep. Even if I would have got it, it would have been like RP 10. It would have been, max effort. But going into rep 3, I had that little shade of doubt. I was like, if you do this, there's one more event after this. Are you going to be able to do that? Because it was like, I got rep 3 like halfway up. I got to my knees. I got the shakes. And instead of fighting for it, I was like, no, save it. So arguably, I was going to say arguably you could say that I wasted more energy by attempting it. Then if I didn't attempt it, yeah, obviously. But I'm not there to not attempt stuff. I'm there to try to attempt stuff. So I went for 3, failed it, felt good after. I didn't feel terrible. And I should mention that I was genuinely worried after day 1. The way that yoke crushed me. I went home, ice bathed, got an ice bath, ate food. I actually listened to Nathan Payton here. He said, if you feel beat up after day 1, protein. If you don't feel beat up, hammer carbs again. I went for protein mostly. I needed that, I needed to heal. I needed to refuel that way. So ice bath, massage gun, protein, all the above, did everything I could. Didn't sleep that well. Tried to take a nap like the next day, still couldn't really do it. But threw on the deadlift suit, and it's like a big Band-Aid, so felt good. Once I took the suit off, I was like, oh God. But I stayed moving around, had some food in me. Excuse me. Anyway, got 822 reps. So all done there. Final event time. I've never actually used a Husafel sandbag before. So this event, I think they dropped it, pretty sure they dropped it from a 350 Husafel to a 325. So we had a 325 sandbag into you run it 50 feet down, throw in a sled, run back, grab a 325 Husafel sandbag, run it down 50 feet, and then you push the sled back. In warm-ups, there's no, I'm not going to warm up like crazy for this event. I've just deadlifted a bunch. That's my warm-up for this event. So I picked 2 lighter Husafel sandbags just to see, and they felt good. I was surprised. Easier to pick than a regular Husafel, I think. Unless they're packed super tight, maybe. But so you know, my turn to go out. I'm in whatever heat it was. I don't remember, but I picked the first bag, and I'm watching the guys before me, and I'm like, wow, that 325 sandbag is packed super tight. The regular sandbag, not the Husafel. I was like, I'm not usually great at picking really full sandbags. Because I like to grab the bag a little bit, like a little bit of flop to it so it bends and you kind of grab into it. It's not really an option when it's heavy like that. You almost, or when it's packed solid like that, you almost have to treat it more like an Atlas stone in a way. So my pick was pretty slow. Didn't get it up as high as I wanted to for the run. I didn't move as fast as I wanted to. But after the 3 events, I'm expected to slow down a little bit maybe. Got the Husafel. I didn't get it high enough either. So I slowed down like the last 10 feet of the run. Just like holding on by fingertips pretty much, which is pretty, you know, almost pretty similar to what I did at the regional. But I dropped it in the sled, pushed the sled. Sleds were kind of cool. Sled was not difficult until like the last 10 feet. My quads were just, they're like, stop, that you've had enough. Finished the run like 46 seconds, slower than in training, but only by like 6 seconds, which is a big difference when there's a lot of people. But you know, after 3 events, whatever else, wasn't overly upset about it. A lot of people didn't finish. Excuse me. But so, all in all, I finished at Official Strongman Games 2024 in 21st place, tied for 21st, 99 points. I actually looked at the scores coming into day 2, and I was like, I want to hit 100 points. It's kind of like a side goal, because I figured that would get me in a decent spot. And 1 point shy, I think I had 99. So, all in all, I got 21st while underperforming, in my opinion. So, now obviously there's the whole coulda, shoulda, woulda thing. If I would have got 1 more rep on lug, if I would have gotten like 20 seconds on the yoke, if I would have gotten 1 more rep on the deadlift, if I would have gotten under 40 seconds, blah, 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 blah. I didn't do any of that, so it doesn't matter. I just know that I know I can make it top 10. I know I can. I know I can. I'm already thinking about it. But that's what you got to do. But thanks to the guys that I had some people come up to me, introduce themselves, say they follow me on TikTok or YouTube or whatever. They love watching my videos. I love that. I appreciate the support. You guys are cool. It's nice talking to everybody because obviously, like, you interact through online or whatever, and then I'm not big on meeting people. I'm not, but if, like, I will not go up to you. But if you come up to me, I'll be like, oh, absolutely, dude. I'm not good. I'm really bad. I do not like doing it myself. I don't know what it is, but I've never been good at that. But if you come up to me, absolutely, we're going to talk. So I appreciate the guys that said they like my videos, follow me on this or that. Because I recognize them too. It's not like, oh, you follow me, that's cool. It's like, oh, hey, I know who you are too. Like, I just love that. I love interacting with people. That's why I like doing social media stuff, because I do meet a lot of people that I wouldn't normally meet or talk to, because I don't talk to people. So, which I wish I would have talked to more people on Friday. Something I do think I wish I could have changed. I think I was too in the zone on Friday. Just not where I need to be. I need to I need to get in that zone when it's my time to compete. Like at the Ocean City Regional, that was more like a vacation than it was anything else. I was in the zone when it was my turn to compete and nothing else, and I did great at that show. I took first. Obviously, I did what I needed to do. But I didn't treat that show at all like any of my other shows. A lot of the time, I'm just like, stone-faced, sit in my chair, leave me alone, which I did Friday this week. And it did me no favors. I think it burns me out, especially on a 2-day show. Like, I can't do that every time. Not at all. It was the anxiety of being at OSG, the show. This is the show to go to the real thing, the pro circuit, which is, it's insane. I think a new level, a new standard was set at OSG this year with the weights they had. 820 deadlift, 1,000 pounds cardio, that's pretty normal for pro circuit. 380 log for reps, that's heavier than pretty much every log you see in every competition except the Austrian Oak. And the Strongman on Earth. 380 might be like the lightest log in their log series when they have it. But either way, numbers like that, it shows that these amateurs, they're not amateurs at all. These are all pros waiting for their turn. They're all pros waiting for their call up. Top 10, top 15 could all hang. I beat a World's Strongest Man competitor, one of the Raymond brothers. I'll be honest, I don't know which one. I beat both of them. But me, at 21st place, beat a World's Strongest Man competitor. And not too far behind another one. Only 1 out of the 4 World's Strongest Men competitors made it to the final, Spencer Remick. That is insane. It's hard to even put into words how crazy the level of competition is in the amateur scene. I know most of these guys are pros, but these are Spencer Remick's words. I'm not going to quote him, word for word, because I just don't know exactly what he said, but he put up a post on Instagram saying he won OSG, or he's been on the podium however many times, he's won OSG. He said that if he would have brought the same package he did, the 2 years that he was podium or won or whatever, he wouldn't have even made the final. Those are his words. That just goes to show you just how insane these guys are. And I'd like to think I'm not far behind. You could think otherwise, that's fine. But I don't think I'm far off at this point. There's plenty of stuff I need to work on, of course. But I think I can hang. I need another opportunity to do so, and I hope to have a few of those next year. So, I feel like there's some other stuff I wanted to say, but I don't know what it is. Really, it's just back to work. So I might even train right now. I don't know. Maybe not. You can't see it because I've zoomed in a little bit, but underneath the camera right now, there is 7 rogue boxes. Because I got that squat rack. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I bought the squat rack I wanted. So I don't even know if I can. I don't think I can fully put it together because there's 1 box that's still missing. I got 7 out of 8 boxes. I need 1 more, and I'm pretty sure if I looked at it right, it's the legs. Can't really have a squat rack without that. So I'm probably going to at least open everything, see if I can put anything together, but a little bit annoyed about that. I'm off today, obviously. So, well, I guess not obviously, but I'm off today. Go back to work tomorrow. So I was hoping to put this together today. But I don't think I can if the legs aren't here. So this video is probably really long. I have no idea how long I've been out here. But I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you following the journey to OSG. So the next 2 weeks are probably going to be just fun videos. Whatever I end up training. I'd like to get some deadlifts in on a regular deadlift bar. Losing my voice. I'd like to get some pulls in on a regular deadlift bar. Kind of want to try to viper a heavy log. Or hit a log PR maybe, we'll see. Some kind. I'd like to do some regular squats. I might do, take the Duffalo bison bar, whatever you want to call it, and do some box squats with that. Just because I never do, I say straight bar. It's not a straight bar, but I mean, it's as close as I can get. I don't know if I can get into a regular old position. The big camber, longer bar makes it so much easier for me to get in position. So I want to do some squats with that. I'm gonna do some cardio. I usually slack on that in the first 2 weeks after a show. But it's probably gonna be 2 weeks off. Maybe start after the new year even. Just because I'm gonna do my own thing for a little bit. Obviously still lift. I love this. This is what I do. And then we'll hop back on a program after the new year probably. Gonna be a lot of off-season work, a lot of reps, a lot of moving, and I'm excited for it. I've been prep all year. Crazy. I'm tired. I'm ready for a little break. So shout out to the podiums, the other podiums too. I don't know exactly who all won what, but Nick Guardione won. Who else was it? I don't remember I know Bryce Johnson. Tim Buck. That's podium. I don't know who got second or third. I know Bryce and Tim, one or two. But Nick Guardione winner. Crazy year for Nick. First Arnold Amateur won that. Second at Shaw Classic. First year at OSG. He's going to be dangerous next year when he gets his his look at Giants Live or Worlds. I hope he gets invited to Worlds. I really do. He can hang. So until next time, go out, get strong, stay strong, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.